Hi, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michele Alignay. It's another day to discuss about family togetherness. So, join me for Coffee Break today as we have reflections, realizations, and resolution regarding our families, relationship, our well-being, and of course, our faith. So, join me for the discussion as we continue our discussion on family togetherness. So, friends, please join me with your coffee or tea or whatever you would like to have sa masarap na usapan here at Coffee Break. So how have you been? How have you been the past days? How is work treating you well? Today it's a Thursday. So imagine how long we've been together, how long we have been journeying, and I know that many of you are with family, with at home like me. So I just need to share this. Ganito talaga pag I'm doing everything on my own. Okay, so going back, please say hi. Please say hi with your comments. Please say hi if you're here joining me. So I would like you to reflect, as I mentioned the other day, that we've been here for quite a while already. Magkakasama yung pamilya. But is it a good check that porke ba magkakasama, is it really family togetherness? So I would like you to reflect on that. And that was what we discussed the other day. We discussed about family togetherness. So does it mean but to being together? Does it mean happy together? You can answer and then put that in the comment section. Does it mean that we are here together? Does it mean that we are stronger? And does it mean that if we pray together, we stay together? Well, that can be the goal. But how are we doing right here, right now? So how are we doing with our family? So the other day, I discussed to you about family togetherness and how do we continue to have a healthy balance between togetherness and separateness? Because the goal that we have in family life, it's not just to be fully together. Because if you notice, if we are fully together, yung sobrang magkakasama, as I said the other day, so go and replay that episode. Too much togetherness creates enmeshment in the relationship. And then too much separateness, it creates disengagement. Walang pakialam in the relationship. And if you recall, my example of enmeshed is a mashed potato. And my example of being together is actually being the healthy togetherness in the family. My example is the baked potato, the heterogeneous and the homogeneous characteristic of each family member. So good morning again, friends. So let's go plunge into our discussion regarding balancing togetherness and separateness. So this morning, I would try my best to discuss with you how can we be really connected to our family, but with the proper balance. There's always in life, sabi nga ng isa kong friend, balance is power. Yes, totoo yan. So here, I would like you to reflect on the kinds of families and where you are. So if there are two things that we should look into, two characteristic in family togetherness or family bonds. Family bonding means that the emotional connection in the family. Hindi yan automatic. As I always share with parents, hindi porke anak natin yung anak natin, we are together agad. Hindi porke anak natin sila. The family is together doesn't mean that the family is okay. The family knows each other so well. So that's why we need to continuously and deliberately create the healthy balance between togetherness and separateness. And I would like you to reflect, nasan kaya yung pamilya namin dito? Because in family life, there is such thing as I mentioned the other day, yung disengage. What do I mean by disengage? When I say disengage, parang malayo. Ito yung as I said, yung family, yung kanya-kanyang buhay, yung walang pakialaman na bahala ka sa buhay mo, ito gawin mo to, and then you just go in the house and then maybe sleep or eat with everybody, but does not necessarily mean na meron kayong relasyon. Yun yung mahirap doon. Yun yung mapapakapi ka. Kasi parang being at home makes us reflect on how are we with our family members? How are we in this family life? So, friends, if you have questions, lagi naman tayo nag-usap ng ganito, di ba? Please feel free to ask questions regarding our topic. So, that's being disengaged. So, if you look at the two words, so, together and apart, or together and separated, it doesn't mean separated na hiwalay. But separateness is that the degree of being away, and togetherness is the degree of being too much together. So disengage means that extreme emotional closeness. Disengage, walang pakialamanan. Ang susunod dyan, ang klase ng pamilya, separated. They are time apart. Magkalayo sila, but they value time together. So halimbawa dun sa mga LDR yung families, may kanya-kanya silang buhay, you do your own way. But then at the end of the day, you value time together. You try to connect with many things. Ina-update niyo isa't isa kung ano nangyayari sa inyo. So, alam niyo pa rin, magkakilala, may relasyon pa rin kayo. Does it happen at home and does it happen to many families here with us? Yes, because it's possible that we are together with our families, pero may kanya-kanya tayong trabaho, may kanya-kanya tayong ginagawa, but there's always that mission or that time for the family to be together. The other one is the family is connected. The connected family, mas maraming time together. But the family values that we still have time for whatever activities that we would like, or the family values that, hey, I like it that we're together, but I value our time apart. So does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, we will do, ang default is magkakasama, pero kung meron kayong gusto, kanya-kanya. Yung separateness, ang default ng family is magkakahiwalay. Pero value nila, siguro 40-30% is the time together. Itong connected, maybe 60%, it's the value is family is together, but then togetherness, it's very important for them. Time together and togetherness, it's important, but they value each family member. And the separate family, or the connected family, that's the balanced type of family. Whereas ito yung critical, as I said the other day, the enmeshed family. The enmeshed family, it's that you are emotionally close. You always check loyalty. Hindi niyo po ba napansin? Ito yung andami sa pamilyang Pilipino. Yung you always want loyalties. Laging may loyalty check. Pag galit yung isa, ay nako, galit ako sa kanya, nagkakampihan. And always, parang, or pag reactive yung isa, nagre-react din yung iba. And you don't know anymore which one is your emotion or your opinion, because it gets enmeshed with the emotions and the opinions of your bigger family. Yun yung critical doon. Kasi you're so enmeshed, you don't know who you are in the process already. So in here, you always look into the connected family, is that in the terms of kumusta yung, as I said the other day, the I and the we. Kumusta tayo? Kumusta ako sa tayo? I and the we. There's always a balance. And you have to check the closeness. Is the closeness just functional? Or the closeness, yung talagang you can tell and you can say that I can turn to my family. I am close to my family. And loyalty, yes, there's some loyalty, but you don't ask for loyalty 100%. Kasi it's possible that iba-iba yung opinion at may respeto sa opinion. And importantly, you have to reflect how much is your family giving way for independence. Yan ang pag-usapan natin. Being home, as I said, tested really our family togetherness, and that is very critical. That is very crucial. Friends, I hope you'll be open to answering this. If you are, please, if you're open to answering this, please let me know. So, hello to everybody who just tuned in. Hi to my friends who are watching. And then to our coffee breakers who are watching, not just from the Philippines, but I see some here from Canada and from US. Hi, hello to everyone. So how do we balance togetherness and separation in relationships? I would like you to rate your family. Where are you in your family? How is your, kung ito yung degree of separateness at ito naman yung degree of connectedness. Yung connected, yung talagang sobrang wala ng space for you to breathe, and that's a 5. And then yung degree of extreme separateness, kanya-kanya kayong buhay, that's a 1. Can you rate your family? Nasaan kayo dyan? In that spectrum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, it's your degree of kanya-kanyang buhay, separateness, and 5, yung sobrang togetherness to the point na, ito yung sinasabi ng iba, parang hindi na ako makahinga, parang wala na akong, hindi na ako malaya dito sa pamilyang to. Ayan, yan. Can you rate yourself? And let's be honest where we are. Anyway, kayo lang nakakaalam yan. Alam nyo, pag ni-replay naman tong coffee break, hindi rin naman and walang judgment, no judgment to each other because we have our own context. And that's why I am asking you to do that so that we can have an honest look and reflection about our family life. The only time that we can really move forwards to getting better resolution out of everything that we've been reflecting on and realizing here at Coffee Break is that we are able to create healthy resolutions for our family. So friends, nasaan tayo dito? Can you rate yourself? Can you please put a rating kung nasan yung pamilya nyo in the degree of togetherness, and that's 5, and to the degree of 1. So walang mali at tama because you are just gauging nasaan kayo sa family. Why did I ask? Because our goal in the family is really to balance, and a deliberate goal in the family is really to have a healthy balance between togetherness and separation in relationships. So what is that thing that we need to realize in order to create that healthy balance? So no matter what relationship you have, your family life, your marriage relationship, even the parent relationship with the child, and of course, even our relationship with a significant other, with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or if you are engaged, it's always good to check saan natin makikita if we are too much enmeshed or too disengaged. That one we can only check on the person's value for the self or the family's value for the sense of self. Can you all say that with me? The sense of self. Can you say that with me? Sense of self. Can you say that with me? It's the sense of self that we're trying to value here. What do I mean by the sense of self? I need to type it down. I need to encode it. What do I mean by the sense of self? When I say the sense of self, is that I would like you to realize that this is something not new, but this is something that we all try to have. So, napakahirap na ang hirap sa isang relasyon, ang hirap sa isang pamilya, kung paano natin mababalanse ang sense of self. Bakit ko 'to nasabi? Kasi madalas we want things together. We want things sama-sama and but then we can only try to balance everything that's happening to our family if we know how to balance, as I said, the sense of self. Sense of self is it's maintaining the self, yung pagkatao. 'Di ba nga sabi mahirap maging tao, pero madaling maging tao, pero mahirap magpakatao. Have you heard that? Madaling maging tao, pero mahirap magpakatao. And then that sense of self, yung pagkatao, yung may respeto, may value. And let's just put it in that context that we are God's beloved, and that's the one that I'm talking about. The sense of self, the self that God made. And if you look at that, that sense of self is supposed to be, yes, affected by family, affected by relationship, but your sense of self is not defined by our relationship. I'll repeat that. Our sense of self is not defined by our relationships. Why? Because that's very independent of relationship. That sense of self actually, for me, my personal definition of that sense of self is my connection with my being. my body, my mind, my spirit, and how am I connected to God and to His divine plan. But it doesn't mean it's not about my family. That sense of self, it's in another term what we use in family psychology or in family science. We call it self-differentiation. Medyo technical, pero gusto ko makita niyo yung word differentiation. Different means is kaya mong ihiwalay or kaya mong makita yung sarili mo na buo. Remember the potato, the baked potato. There is homogeneity. There's respect for the dignity of the individual ingredient, individual person. And that person maintains his or her sense of self. Kaya yan napaka-critical. And it's independent of relationship. And what do I mean that by that sense of self? Because when we have that value for sense of self, thank you friends for answering that. When we value that sense of self, we value our own ideas. We value our own emotions. Yung bang hindi tayo natatakot na ito yung sinasabi nila, takot ka bang maging ikaw? Hindi tayo natatakot na ipakita na naiinis ako. And we're not dictated by other people na bakit hindi ka dapat mainis. Oh, no. Because we're not gonna try to please anybody. But if you look at that, it's independent of ideas and opinions. Another one in the family life, being having that sense of self, we are enjoying time by ourselves. Have you met people na parang dapat laging may kasama kasi natatakot silang mapag-isa? And then, that is very critical because sorry to say this, but this is the harsh reality. Alam niyo naman, whenever here in Coffee Break, we really talk straight. This is real talk. It's not, even though we love our family, even though that we love our people that we are in relationship with, it's not 100% that we can depend on them because sometimes sila mismo they create emotional turmoil. Sila mismo we have conflicts and issues with them. So that sense of self, one is that person with a good sense of self, it's very much in touch with his or her emotions. Alam niya kung ano yung idea ko at idea ng pamilya ko. Hindi siya laging bandwagon. Yung susundin ko anong gusto ng iba. And then that person with sense of self is, I know my opinion and I can voice out my opinions. That's very critical na kaya kong sabihin yung alam ko at kaya ko rin sabihin yung nararamdaman ko. Another thing is that you enjoy being alone. And I miss going out by myself and for myself. I miss going out and just sitting down in a coffee shop, just reflecting on my life, just reflecting on my work, just reflecting on work itself, and just being by myself. I value that every Tuesday whenever I would teach in the graduate school in the afternoon. That time for myself is really in the morning of Tuesday. I would go to this coffee place near the campus, and then it's my alone time. After that, maybe lunch or after lunch, that's the time that I set meetings or errands. Tapos bandang mga late afternoon, papasok ako, magtatrabaho ako. And that creates that healthy balance. So, it's important for us to go off once in a while. Alam ko, sasabihin nyo, ang hirap naman yan sis kasi nasa bahay tayo. But sometimes, you don't need to explain to everybody what you're doing. If you need to stay up in your room, you don't need to tell your family, dito ako, ganito gagawin ko. So, gusto niyo sumama, hindi mo kailangan ayain yung buong barangay sa lahat ng gagawin mo. So you have to go off once in a while because everybody in the family benefits from us having that independent time. Do you agree? Okay, what is it? Yung sinasabi nilang me time, for me, I don't like to call it me time because me time becomes sometimes selfish. But let's just look at that. Having that alone time, having that personal time is creating a personal space. And I would like you to reflect, what is it that you like to do? Either you pray, uh, ako ang talagang personal time ko, yung oras ko para sa sarili ko, wag niyo akong istorbohin when I'm taking my yoga class. And then sometimes I just would like to So just stay in the bathroom. Stay in the bathroom. Mag-foot soak ako. Now that we're in this situation, I have this a small tub, and then I have a foot soak. So whatever I'm doing, I'm just listening to music or reading. That's the time that I have for myself. Nobody should get it from me. And then having that time for yourself means you value having your needs met. This is not about self-care. This is not about being selfish. But you value leisure time and you value time apart. Yun yung kailangan natin maintindihan. That sense of self, you nurture that self when you value yourself so that when you go back, you are a recharged person. When you go back, alam nyo, connected to sa self-care. Kaya ako, I always encourage self-care. I'm much excited to have all the registrants of Martha's Pause, my workshop on Saturday, because I really tell people, kailangan natin ibigay natin sa sarili natin yung pag-aalaga. Kasi it's not all the time that people will look after us. It's not all the time, sad to say, that life would be fair to us. So we need to treat ourselves fairly so that we can learn to give more because in all honesty, people would always want more from us. Tama po ba? Who among you agree? People would want more. People would like to demand from us. Either it's time for the family, it's a chore, it's work, ang dali tayong hilahin at dali tayong ihambalos at before we know it, ay teka lang, where did the time go? Anong nangyari sa akin? So, you have to check where you are. And we create that space for that sense of self in order for us to balance being together. It cannot be that all family members have that time together 100% because each person in a relationship, each person in the family should value that sense of space, that own time, that own space, the value for their enriching themselves so that they can be nourished. They can nourish themselves on their own. They can grow independently. They need to understand life in their eyes and that they can be able to navigate things. Kaya ako, this is connected. For example, if you are a couple, you want doing everything together. Is that healthy? For me, no. Kasi nawawala yung pagkatao ng bawat isang partner. Kaya sila nagiging too much enmeshed kasi hindi na nila kilala who is whom. Remember, the balance here is always the I and the we. At kung tayo nanay, we cannot always dictate to our kids what they should do. Kaya ako, I really am not for hovering. I am for guiding, but not for hovering over my kids. Because how will they be when I'm away? Kaya tayo na-drain ang tendency nating parents. We are drained because we give too much more than that is expected of us. So how do we check where we are in the relationship? But this is a guide also on how can you check also the togetherness in your family. You have to always strive. We have to always strive that there's a continuous balance between the I and the we. We value family, yes, but a healthy family would be a family with a healthy sense of self, with each family members having a healthy sense of self. Yung bang bina-value ng pamilya yung independence, bina-value ng pamilya yung individuality ng bawat isa. So that, pag tiningnan mo sila, wow, buo silang pamilya kasi buo yung bawat miyembro. Hindi yung isang pamilya na sira, sira, sira. For me, the battle cry in relationship, it's not you complete me. I think I've shared that with you before. The battle cry for me for family is that you complement me because we're supposed to complement each other, not complete each other. So let's check where we are in the relationship. Ito, tayo tingnan natin if anong masasagot nyo. Are you comfortable in addressing, debating issues or conflict in the relationship? Are you comfortable in addressing or debating over issues or conflicts in the relationship? Hindi ko sinasabing mang-away. Hindi ko sinasabi that peace should not be met. But in family life, conflicts are inevitable. Kaya yung iba, pag tinatanong ko during workshops, Sino dito yung walang problema? Alam niyo may nagtataas ng kamay. Hindi ako naniniwala na walang problema sa isang pamilya. It's just that yung iba, hindi nila tinitingnan yung issue. Some people will see it not as a problem and it's okay. But there are times, each day may issue. Issue nga lang yung hindi pinatay yung ilaw sa banyo. Issue na rin yung hindi inayos yung gamit. That's an issue in itself. So each day we are confronted with issue. But each day, do we just, if you have a dominant family member, pag ba, are you, some people, they don't want to recognize that it's an issue, that's an issue because they do not want to deal with the issue. Ayaw nilang makasakit, ayaw nilang managot, they do not want to rock the boat. Yun po yung mahirap. Kasi minsan the issue, it's becoming cancer. It's becoming a long, 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 long line of issue. I have some meetings with different people, and I've been listening to other talks also. And then you know what I realized that during this pandemic, many of the family issues are not the real issues. Even if you say mental health issue, I believe if you look at it, that issues are there already, even during the before the pandemic. But we fail to recognize the signs and we fail to do something about those issues. But it's just that these issues are magnified. So conflicts in the family, they're just magnified. Because baka dati hindi nire-recognize that there's conflict because you don't want to rock the boat, you want to keep peace at all costs. But conflicts are needed so that the family can move forward. Kaya conflict is really healthy. If you look at conflict positively, it's a good way for the family to, parang hindi maayos yung andar natin. So, okay, di ba, pag nasira yung kotse or di ba may tune up, conflicts are the way for the family to tune up their relationship. So, you have to check, are you comfortable in addressing debating issues or conflicts? Kasi kung ikaw yung lang yung nagpapadala, dahil you don't want to rock the boat, then there is a danger that you don't know where you are in the relationship because for you it's an issue already but you're not raising it up for fear. So the next thing is that, do you neglect your own needs or preferences? Hindi mo ba pinapansin ang iyong pangangailangan? Hindi mo ba pinapansin kaya 'di ba ang dami nagrereklamo na pagod na ako, hindi man lang ako makaupo, hindi man lang ako makapagkape. Friends, sino ba naman nagsabi sa inyo na magpakapagod kayo? Sino ba nagsabi sa inyong gawin niyo lahat? Meron naman bukas. See, do you neglect your own needs? You have to always check, am I neglecting my needs and preferences? Na lagi na lang sila yung nasusunod. Lagi na lang, kaya yung iba sinasabi nila, boss daw nila yung family nila. I don't want to look at it that way. Yes, they may be demanding, but it's up to us how much pressure we will put in ourselves to that level of demand that they have. If they are demanding, if they're saying na, I need this, I need that, anak, hanggang dito lang yung kaya ko. My kids are, the other one, mom, I need to do this. Mom, I need this kind of materials. Okay, this is what I do personally. Do I neglect my own needs? Actually, I'm running empty. I think I have to take a break to really rest because there's too much things that happening in the home front. But when it comes to my kids, I am happy to share that somehow I am not a hovering parent. I guide them. Minsan tinatawanan ko na lang on how I guide them. But call me cool. Call me cool on that. But mom, I need to do this project. So what's the project about? It's like this. Okay, and then we discuss. Because they're bigger. They're almost 11 and I can't believe they're almost 11 and 14. Ma, you have to do this. No, I'm not going to do it for you. I have that material. I have that material, the materials that you need for that project. Here are they. Do it. Ma, how do I do it? What do you think? How do you think you would do it? So that's the kind of parent that I have. So that I don't neglect my own need. So if they have demands, I demand that hanggang dito ka lang yung demand mo, ito yung kaya ko ibigay. Pero hindi ko ibibigay lahat. Kasi pag binigay ko lahat, paano ako? At kung marami pang hihingi sa akin, like kayo, like other people, you have to keep checking if we are neglecting our own needs. So, another one, we have to deal with guilt. Can you see that with me? Guilt. Meron nga tinatawag na mom guilt, parent guilt. ato madalas ko marinig sa parents, that natatakot sila kasi baka hindi ka sila mahalin. Friends, hindi natin dapat gawin na panglaban yung emotional blackmail, yung pagmamahal. Kasi binibigay naman talaga yan sa relasyon. Many cannot handle guilt. Nagigilty ako kasi baka hindi ko maibigay because our standards are too high. Ito yung standard natin, ito lang yung kaya. Parang hindi talaga match, eh, 'di ba? Parang yung standard mo pang-international, eh, yung kakayahan mo pang-local lang. So, paano 'yan? How can you marry the both? 'Di ba? Either you adjust your standard or you adjust your reality. So, kung hindi mo kayang ma-adjust yung reality, i-adjust natin yung standard. It's a good to have those standards, but sometimes you have to make those standards into chunkable, workable areas. And that is something because you cannot neglect your own needs. Ang pinakamahirap ngayon time ng pandemic ay magkasakit. Magkasakit in all aspects, physically and psycho-emotionally. And that is why I really, really, really suggest for you, friends, don't feel guilty kung hindi nyo kayang ibigay sa anak nyo. Don't feel guilty kung hindi nyo kayang ibigay sa asawa nyo. Did you love them less? Minsan parang, at ito minsan yung parents, natatakot ako na hindi ko sila, na baka hindi ko sila gabayan ng tama. If you've done your best, ito pa isa, natatakot ako na pagalitan sila kasi baka magkaroon ng depression, kung meron naman tayong napundar na magandang relasyon at napagalitan natin sila, they would know that that's for their own good. And then yung reprimanding, calling their attention, it's not because we want to put them down, but because we would like to correct. That's loving corrections, diba? So you have to ditch that guilt of not being able to do. Dapat ba ako mag-guilty? Sometimes, hindi naman tayo dapat mag-guilty. Maybe sometimes, kaya tayo nag-guilty. Ito ha, kasi hindi na natin kilala yung sarili natin kasi binigay na nga natin, we are so enmeshed in the relationship. We don't know anymore which is tayo, and which is theirs. Kaya tayo nagigilty because their emotions naka-intertwined na sa atin. Kaya yun yung danger, friends. Hindi mo na makita kung ano yung sayo. Because that's why you do not neglect your own needs. And do not fear that they will reject you. Minsan ito yung madalas na fear, paano kung magalit yung anak ko? Paano kung i-reject niya ako? Pag nagalit yung anak nyo, oo, pa rin yan, may kailangan yan. Pag nagalit yung asawa nyo, ibang usapan yun. But, don't fear that you are rejected. Kaya nga, pinakamaganda, do not reject your needs. So, you will not fear the rejection of other people. Why? There's somebody who look after your needs, and that is you. That's how you balance the I and the we, the togetherness and the separateness and the relationship, and cannot say no. If you cannot say no, why is it that you cannot say no? Maybe because your sense of worth is connected to other people, to the approval of other people. Yun yung nagiging so into we. So you have to check that. And itong yung magic question, where you are in the relationship, how do you balance the togetherness and separation? You always have to check, who am I? This is the magic question. Who am I in the relationship? Can you say that with me? Who am I in the relationship? Kaya nyo bang sagutin yan? So, okay, for example, I say, I am the mother. But beyond being a mother, who you are, sino ka? I am a sister. Beyond the role of being a sister, who are you? That's something that we need to define. Because that sense of self cannot be taken away. Nobody can define it for us but ourselves. Pag sinabi mo na, I am a mom, but I'm also a sister, but I am God's beloved. He has given me talents. I am a loving person. I can share what I want, but I'm also an advocate of self-care. That is something because you always na, sino ba ako sa relasyon na to? Ako ba yung taga-push? Ako ba yung taga-ganito? And you have to reflect, who am I in the relationship? And then the next question, who am I will be without this relationship? Pag hindi na masagot yung second question, hindi mo na nga masagot yung una, critical yon. Pero pag hindi mo nasagot yung who am I without this relationship, that's critical. That's critical if you cannot answer the second part. Who am I without this relationship? Because it might be that our identity is anchored just I'm not saying that it's bad, but if this being a mother and being, we put all our eggs, sabi nga, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If we put all our eggs with just one role, with just one relationship, and we fail to leave that relationship for ourselves, that sense of self, and then that is critical. That's the formula for enmeshment in relationship. And you have to reflect, who am I in the relationship? Am I afraid of detaching or separating from the relationship? Natatakot ba akong lumayo or natatakot ba akong maging too much attached? Friends, why am I sharing with you this? Because you've seen this is one napakalalim nitong dimension that I'm talking with you. Balancing togetherness and separation and separateness in relationship is so critical, because the bottom line of this is what I said, the value of the sense of self in the relationship. That self is you, and you cannot have a healthy relationship if you do not have that healthy relationship with the self. So friends, hindi totoo na wag mong, ito yung favorite line dati. Pag nagmahal ka daw, hiran mo yung sarili mo. So, ganito na lang. Baguhin natin. In relationships, in family life, pag nagmahal ka, punuan mo yung sarili mo. Punuan mo yung sarili mo so we can have more to give. So that we value that sense of self. So that we will not lose the I to the we. The we can be very demanding. The we can take us to leaps and bounds. The we, it's so nice to have, but it will only be healthy if there is an I. So what are the points not to forget? So you can continue balancing the I and the we, the separateness and togetherness in your relationship. I think there's a chapter in my family goals book that has the balance of the I and the we. You have to check your closeness. Is it too much that you're getting strangled? Di ka na makahinga. Di mo nakilala yung sarili mo. Loyalty, yung lagi bang nagkakampihan? Yung lagi bang kailangan sama-sama, pero kahit nalabag sa loob mo and it's not healthy and appropriate for you. Yung independence, yung hindi ka makagalaw, hindi ka makagawa ng sariling diskarte kasi ayaw nila, gusto ng iba, gusto ng family members mo, lahat kayo. You have to check, are you comfortable in addressing issues in your relationship? Do you neglect or value your own needs in the relationship? And lastly, who you are in the relationship. Last tips, do something for yourself. Set an alone time. Have a balance of activities for individual family members and for as a family. Okay lang na kanya-kanya on some days, pero sana meron din together. You have different opinions, and we must value the different opinions, the different emotions, and the different insights of family members kasi iba-iba tayo. You know, the magic of family is that each family member with a sense of self are able to bring their uniqueness together. A healthy family is not putting everybody inside the box, within the box lang. A healthy family is being able to make each one be the best version of themselves. And the best version is what they give in and pull together. That's healthy. Too ideal, but workable. And I'm gonna tell you, healthy families have a balance of togetherness and separateness. Hindi masamang kumain mag-isa. Hindi masamang minsan kanya-kanya. Importante siya. Kailangan natin makahinga. We need breather. But always value time together. Emotional bonds is what I'm saying. It's not about time together only, but it's also the emotional connection that each one has. And I hope this has helped you in enriching your family life, friends. Let me know your thoughts, who you are in the relationship. Does your family have a time to be together and a time to help each other be the best version of themselves? I hope this has helped you. I hope this coffee break with Dr. Michelle has helped you, and please share this to family and friends who might need it. This is available in Facebook, in my page, or there's a Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle in YouTube. And now I'm so happy that many friends love it. We're available in Spotify. Thank you to my friend Ryan Salbanera for kicking everything and then, putting all this together to make it available to friends and family. And I hope you join me again next week for another thoughtful session on Coffee Break. Please do not feel free to share with me your insights and your reflections about this topic. God bless you all, everybody.